Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking complex location data and transforming it into clear, actionable insights to give you a massive competitive edge in 2026. Look, if you work with data at all, you already know our world is increasingly defined by location. But having that data and actually understanding what it means, well, those are two very different things. Today, we're going to close that gap.
Okay, let's dive right in with a simple question. What value do you actually get from a massive CSV file full of addresses and polygons? Just imagine it for a second. You're staring at thousands upon thousands of rows of latitude and longitude coordinates. What is that actually telling you about your business, your logistics network, or your environment?
Honestly, absolutely nothing. Raw spatial data is basically useless on its own, and frankly, it'll probably just put you to sleep. It's just a wall of numbers. But when you apply the right visualization, it completely transforms those abstract digits into patterns and stories that drive critical business decisions. Visualization is literally the key that unlocks the potential hiding inside your databases.
So, here is our roadmap for today. First, we're making sense of spatial data. Second, we'll cover techniques for visualizing location. Third, we'll dive into the 3D GIS revolution. Fourth, we'll look at the top visualization tools of 2026. And finally, we'll talk about choosing the right API.
Let's start with Section 1, making sense of spatial data. Let's lay the groundwork and figure out exactly what we're working with here.
So, what is geospatial data visualization? Essentially, it's turning location-based data into maps, graphs, and interactive visual tools to uncover hidden trends. And this isn't just about making pretty pictures. It's really about operational efficiency. It's about better forecasting and, crucially, bridging that communication gap between your technical and non-technical teams. When you can just show someone a map and they instantly get it, you remove the friction that slows down decision-making.
Now you've got to understand the stark contrast between our two primary data types, vector and raster. Think of vector data as your discrete elements, your exact coordinates. So a retail company would use points for store locations, lines for delivery routes, and polygons for property boundaries. Raster data, on the flip side, is a continuous pixelated grid. Think of it like a digital photograph where every single pixel carries a value. This format is absolutely vital for things like satellite imagery or mapping elevation models.
Moving right along to Section 2, techniques for visualizing location. Once we have our raw data, how do we actually paint the picture to solve real-world problems?
If you've ever looked at an election map, you already know what a choropleth map is. If you want to compare values, say average income or population density across different zip codes, these are your absolute go-to. By assigning a color gradient to predefined areas, like counties or states, you can instantly spot spatial disparities across huge regions in just a single glance.
But what if you don't care about artificial borders and you just want to see where the activity is? That is exactly where heat maps shine. If you're a logistics manager trying to optimize delivery routes, heat maps instantly reveal high-density activity zones that demand your attention. The higher the activity, the hotter the color. It points you right to where the action is.
But look, deploying these maps effectively means following a few golden rules. You have to tailor it to your audience, use intuitive, colorblind-friendly palettes so everyone can actually read the data. Pick the appropriate scale so you don't accidentally exaggerate a minor trend, and this is a big one. You need interactive features like zooming and filtering. Otherwise, your team is just going to get lost in a messy pile of overlapping data. Keep it clean. All right, Section 3, the 3D GIS revolution. Let's talk about the massive paradigm shift that is completely reshaping architecture, engineering, and construction right now. I love this quote from Micah Callow. He points out that sometimes you have a question that inherently requires a three-dimensional answer. Our physical world isn't flat, right? Think about it. How often have you looked at a 2D map and then immediately switched to Street View just to orient yourself? Complex infrastructure, like airports or huge shipping ports, require the rich context of 3D digital twins. You just can't manage modern, multi-layered environments on a flat piece of paper anymore. This 3D shift is moving incredibly fast. With drones exploding in popularity recently, we are now seamlessly fusing 2D and 3D data. We're integrating satellite feeds, aerial photography, and terrestrial LiDAR scanning all into one place. This means organizations can manage hidden subsurface assets and massive architectural projects within fully immersive, interactive environments. It is a total game changer for how we simulate reality. Which brings us to Section 4. Top visualization tools of 2026. Let's take a look at the actual software stack dominating the market this year. Millions, literally millions of data points rendered in real time. If you're dealing with massive data sets today, you aren't sitting around waiting for a map to load. Tools utilizing GPU-accelerated WebGL can render millions of points instantly without breaking a sweat. The performance jump we've seen recently is just stunning.
Now, there's no magic one-size-fits-all tool here. It really depends on what you do. Need your team to collaborate without a GIS degree? Atlas is fantastic for that. Want pixel-perfect, custom-branded maps? Mapbox Studio is the professional's choice. If you're living in business dashboards, Tableau and Power BI are great. Journalists tend to love Flourish and Data Wrapper for quick publishing, and for heavy-duty analytics, Carto is still an absolute powerhouse.
But a quick word of warning, you've got to know a platform's limitations before you jump in. Take Google Earth Engine, for example. It's incredibly powerful, but you actually need to know JavaScript or Python to use it. It completely relies on a stable internet connection, puts strict limits on local data uploads, and has commercial use restrictions. Always check the constraints before committing your team to a platform.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, choosing the right API. If you're a developer building custom applications, this is where the rubber meets the road.
When you compare the giants, the differences are pretty clear. Google Maps is super familiar and great for consumer apps, but that pay-as-you-go model gets really expensive at scale. Then you have Here, which is an absolute beast for enterprise logistics, offering advanced routing for trucks and EVs. Mapbox rules the space for deep UI customization, and TomTom sits solidly in the middle with highly reliable real-time traffic data. Your specific operational priorities have to dictate which API you choose.
So we've covered a ton of ground today. Geospatial visualization in 2026 has basically obliterated the old technical barriers. We can process millions of points, build 3D digital twins, and integrate precise APIs faster than ever. So I'll leave you with this. Are you going to keep staring at flat, boring spreadsheets, or are you ready to start asking three-dimensional questions about your operations? Stop leaving money on the table and start exploring your data's true reality. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.